Hello everyone, welcome to From the Star Wars Home Video Library. I'm your host Nathan P. Butler. You may recall that a while back we looked at something enormous. We looked at the AFI Century Collection, that 100 Years, 100 Movies celebration package that was 4 enormous 25-pound boxes. So over 100 pounds once you add in like the ounces. Over 100 pounds of Star Wars home video stuff, or at least of home video stuff that included Star Wars, because it was this giant VHS set of 100 movies, including A New Hope. Because when AFI, the American Film Institute, came up with their top 100 American movies of all time back around 1998, A New Hope was number 15. So they included a full-screen, 1997 special edition, copy of A New Hope on VHS inside that giant boxed set. We looked at that a while ago when that originally came into my hands. But for those who are interested in that and Star Wars' place within the AFI specials, that AFI celebration, or who maybe are familiar with AFI because of things like the Life Achievement Award sets, say for George Lucas or for John Williams, I want to show you something else that is tied into that season of awards, that season of celebration back in '98 that maybe you haven't had a chance to pick up. It's somewhat tangential for a Star Wars home video library, but I figure it's a nice companion piece to the giant set that I have. And that is that there was actually a television special that was aired specifically to talk about the place in history of all 100 of the 100 movies from that 100 Years, 100 Movies Century collection. The same films that are in that giant boxed set. And the special itself was released on home video if you wanted to check it out. There were also some thematic episodes, like Best Villains and Best Flights of Fancy and so on, that were done as separate episodes that were also released, at least some of them, on VHS as well. This is the VHS release of that special. We have the American Film Institute presents AFI 100 Years, 100 Movies, America's Greatest Movies, a CBS special. Okay? Packaging there similar to what we saw on that giant set. Spine there, AFI, 100 Years, 100 Movies, VHS and product number. Same thing on the other side. The back, AFI, American Film Institute, talks about what this is, which we'll actually go through. Cast, crew, type information, legalese. Columbia House? That's a name I've not heard in a long time. Long time. And then a space where a UPC would typically go. The back reads, to commemorate the first century of American movie making, the American Film Institute has embarked on a celebration of America's greatest movies, AFI's 100 Years, 100 Movies. The centerpiece of this unprecedented celebration is the selection of the 100 greatest American movies of all time, as determined by leaders from across the American film community. Choosing from a list of 400 American movies compiled by AFI historians, this blue ribbon panel has selected the 100 greatest feature films, judging such factors as critical recognition, major award winners, popularity over time, historical significance, and cultural impact. AFI's 100 Years, 100 Movies is highlighted by this 3-hour primetime special, originally broadcast June 16, 1998 on CBS, during which the 100 greatest movies were revealed for the first time. Never before has a celebration of American movies of this enormous scope been organized. This once-in-a-lifetime event will remind us all how these great movies once sent shivers up our spines, tickled our funny bones, and tugged at our heartstrings. It's hilarious to me they call this a once-in-a-lifetime event because they do update it later and do it again. But that's okay. In this special, okay, and this is dated 1998 on VHS, in this special there are interview segments about Star Wars with James Earl Jones, Samuel L. Jackson, and Ben Stiller. But it is only a short segment. Without commercials, it's like a 2.5-hour special that includes all 100 of them, so they can't really spend a whole lot of time specifically on A New Hope. A New Hope is number 15, which is kind of cool here. Okay? So you could get the special on VHS if you wanted to see that. You could also get it in one of these old school DVD versions in terms of the case and everything. So I haven't seen this type of case in years, right? Or sorry, let me do the Jen Urso. In years. Not years, but yes. Okay. We have American Film Institute presents AFI's 100 Years, 100 Movies, America's Greatest Movies, CBS special, same thing. Essentially the same info on the back, just designed for DVD here. In this case, Image Entertainment rather than Columbia House, DVD video, and so on. Right? The spine, title there with product number and Image Entertainment. But it's one of these kind of cardboard packages where it's like the cardboard top and it's just like the plastic for this part of it that holds the disc with the little flap. Haven't seen one of those in years, and I don't think we've ever seen one of those for anything related to Star Wars prior to this. The disc is right here. AFI, American Film Institute, 100 Years, 100 Movies, America's Greatest Movies, Program Content, copyright 1998. This actually was a DVD put out in 1999. AFI, American Film Institute, Image Entertainment, DVD Video, DVD Packaging, copyright. That's how you know it's copyright 1999, because the DVD packaging is copyright 99, even though the special was in 98. There's your DVD. And then, because there's the space, it lists out the chapters, along with which films are included for what it's worth. Star Wars is the first thing in Chapter 20, because it is number 15. It says numbers in white denote AFI ranking. And what's kind of cool is, just in case you're not quite sure how your audio setup is set up to work with something like this, they got this really cool kind of cheat sheet on DVD audio information as far as like Dolby Digital Mono, Dolby Digital Stereo, Dolby Digital 5.0, how many speakers are set up and how is the sound coming out to you. That in and of itself is really kind of cool to have because, you know, for years I found that type of information somewhat confusing before I really took the time to study what the different types meant. So you could get it on DVD in this kind of flimsy, old school style packaging here, very 90s, or in a regular DVD case. Essentially, again, the same thing. Also, again, through Image Entertainment. So essentially the same design, only this time it is packaged in a standard case. The information about the chapters is put on an insert instead of printed on the inside or anything, but there is no information about the different audio options. And then the disc is pretty much the same in style here. Okay, Region 1 NTSC, DVD packaging, yada, 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 from Image Entertainment. Either one's going to give you the special on DVD set up effectively the same way. Now, after that, in 10 years' time, they decided, you know what? We're going to do another one. And I say 10 years' time, it actually was in 2007. So I guess maybe they did the selection in 97 and did the special in 98 that hit VHS in 98 but hit DVD in 99. So maybe 10 years is 2007, but it seems to me it's more like 9. 98 was when the special was aired, and then they air the special where they've revised the numbers in 2007, 9 years later, but whatever. They did a second special, and in this case, A New Hope's standing improved and went to number 13. It is a new special that goes over the 100 best movies again, revised as of 10 years later, and this one has sort of an interview bit from something else, I think, with Lucas. It has Samuel L. Jackson, it has Harrison Ford talking about Star Wars, and this runs about 2 hours and 10 minutes, so it is shorter than the other by a little bit. Now this, I don't know if this ever actually had a regular home video release. This is a press screener of the new version that was then aired to revise the information. American Film Institute presents 10th Anniversary Edition, AFI's 100 Years, 100 Movies, 10th Anniversary Edition, America's Greatest Movies, a CBS television event. Spine there. Title, 10th Anniversary Edition as part of the title. The back, AFI, 1967 to 2007, 40, so AFI 40 years of AFI. AFI's 100 Years, 100 Movies, 10th Anniversary Edition, America's Greatest Movies. We'll read this in a moment. An AFI production, cast crew type information, website, legalese and stuff down there at the bottom. Running time, 131 minutes. Okay? Now, what exactly is this one about? It's got a lot of names of actors that we won't get into here. The text on the back reads, The American Film Institute honors the 10th year of AFI's 100-year series by asking the leaders of the film community what are the greatest American films of all time, and which is the greatest. AFI's 100 Years, 100 Movies 10th Anniversary Edition adds the past decade of American films to the debate while documenting the changing cultural perspective that 10 years brings. In this 3-hour primetime television event, boy, that must have been a lot of commercials. Originally broadcast June 20, 2007 on CBS, America's top film artists help count down the 100 greatest movies as chosen by a blue ribbon panel of leaders from the film community, with Tim Allen, Anne Bancroft, and a crap ton of others, and Robin Williams. Hosted by Morgan Freeman. Okay? And again, this is a screener, a press screener where you could actually see this. It is a DVD-R, so limited run, probably produced in-house. AFI 100 Years, 100 Movies, AFI, DVD, press screener, and then you got your legally stuff down there at the bottom. So a way to actually see this, you'll see that screener pop up every once in a while on eBay, but a way to watch the 10th anniversary special that apparently may not have gotten, at least I have not seen it, having gotten a regular home video release. Kind of neat there to see Star Wars place in all this. Now, they talk about it being 10 years of the 100 whatevers from AFI. They did a series of other specials that were sort of, quick little specials, 45-minute specials, that talk about a certain aspect of filmmaking, like villains or heroes or whatever. And they tended to have different actors hosting, talking about the films and showing clips of them and giving them a little bit of attention. One of these was an episode called Fantastic Flights, which was released on VHS, with another episode called Out of Control that has nothing to do with Star Wars. It's more like monsters and extreme characters and whatnot. It's VHS, dated 2000. We have American Film Institute presents AFI 100 Years, 100 Movies, America's Greatest Movies, Out of Control, Fantastic Flights. Spine, title again, title of the episodes, VHS, AFI, Image Entertainment. Same on the other side. The top is essentially just the titles again. The back, AFI, American Film Institute, tells you about Out of Control, which has nothing to do with Star Wars. Tells you it's hosted by Richard Gere, narrated by James Woods, as all of them are, as far as James Woods goes. Then cast crew information. Information about Fantastic Flights, which we will look at, hosted by Jodie Foster, narrated by James Woods, cast crew information, runtime, color, legalese and whatnot, AFI, Image Entertainment. The backstory of this particular special: Fantastic Flights. Some are surreal. Chaplin trapped in the toils of a modern factory. The Marx Brothers in Fredonia. Some are completely unreal. Disney's animated creations. But most of the figures we'll be looking at here are, in one way or another, space voyagers. What they have in common is their capacity to lift us out of quotidian reality, into realms of pure imagination. What medium does this better than the movies? Or is likely to do so more often, more powerfully in the new millennium? How better to conclude our series than with this trip back to the future as the movies have imagined it? How better to suggest that there are always new worlds for filmmakers to imagine and to conquer in the millennium ahead? Films include Modern Times, Duck Soup, Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, The Wizard of Oz, 2001: A Space Odyssey, Star Wars. Not a lot of space voyagers there. Hosted by Jodie Foster, narrated by James Woods. Okay, cool little special here. The cassette has no label here. Here it just says AFI's 100 Years, 100 Movies, has the titles of the 2 episodes, AFI, Image Entertainment, legalese, FBI warning, and that type of stuff here on a fairly simplistic label. Okay, you pop this in, and you go through the first episode, which has nothing to do with Star Wars, right? Then you go to the next episode, which is Fantastic Flights, and Star Wars is the second movie that it features between E.T. and Snow White, oddly enough. It's about, as they call it, flights to inner and outer space. So fantasy films, sci-fi films, and that sort of thing. The Star Wars segment is about 5 or 6 minutes long, shows the name of the film, the date, the director, the screenwriter, which is both George Lucas in this case, shows bits about it, clips of a comment made by Lucas, and some stuff that seems to be new with film critic David Anson and Roger Corman. And after all the episode plays, after the second episode of the 2 plays, there's a credits thing that runs, and basically what it plays is data for all 100 of the films, which breaks down the film's title, the company, the date, the principal cast, the director, the producer, and the screenwriter. John Williams is also featured in it, but he's in it to talk about the music of Close Encounters of the Third Kind, not Star Wars. So a little bit of Star Wars mixed in here. You'll also find that Star Wars is covered, for instance, on the one about villains, where it talks about Darth Vader. Heroes and villains, I think, actually, because I think it also talks about Han Solo in that same one. And you'll find that it's covered in the one about thrills and whatnot. They're cool if you can find them, and if you have a VHS player to check them out. It's a neat little special to see how Star Wars fits into grander themes within the stuff out there in the film medium. And when it comes to the special, you can see how it fits in with the other 100 best and see where it ranks and why and all that kind of stuff, and get those types of insights into the mindset of the AFI voters. Not fully Star Wars, but includes Star Wars, and a good complement to the giant Century Collection VHS set that includes A New Hope. So I figured, why not add these to the home video library, and I can feature them in the book as a little sidebar or something. With that, we'll wrap up this episode. Thank you for watching, and may the Force be with the home video viewers.